The most important media outlet in the country right now.
Welcome to the Watering Hole Part 2 of episode 93.
Strap in.
Hey, he's back.
He's back.
He's
The
back
man is back.
He's back in our lives.
Yes.
Dave from 4 to 4 Golf,
It's been
mate.
way too long.
How you going?
Very good, and thank you very much for inviting me back in. I've missed you, fellas. Although I don't remember a lot about the first night we
A
met.
few of these maybe was a bit dusty.
Just a bit, mate. Yeah.
Yeah. We recapped that night with Ben Dixon when we had him on a few weeks ago as well. And similar thing. He didn't remember much about it either. So
It was just funny, like that opening night, because you don't really know anyone, kind of thing. And obviously, you played with Steve that day, so you're looking around. There's friendly faces everywhere, but you're like, who do we know? Oh, there's Dave. Let's go. And then the rest is history.
You regret it immediately after that.
I mean, I threw up in the hotel, so yeah, I regretted it. Yeah,
Not your finest form.
no.
A bit like me on the course with Dave because I was shocked.
threw up on the
that
course?
day. No, I didn't throw up, but my playing sure looked like it. So.
Nah, mate, it was me that let us down out there.
Absolutely not.
you went close, didn't you two? You went.
Yeah, it was just we got the playoff chip. Yeah,
yeah.
No, it was.
Still stings, Dave?
Just a bit, mate. like it hurts. It actually hurts. Like, I don't know if it's likely that Portia would listen to this, but yeah, it's like, even just girl. I got beat by a girl at chipping. I know you shouldn't say that, but I did. So,
Oh well.
We'll get her next time, mate. We'll get her next time.
That's it.
Yeah, I'll call him for a rematch. Obviously, we said we met you this year at the Jack. We'll start there and then maybe work back a little bit. But how did you find the Jack? Obviously, we've just seen all the footage that's come out and it aired on TV. And what was your experience like, and how did you find it being obviously involved in that event?
yeah, absolutely, mate. I think much like yourselves, like I went over, with my brother-in-law who knows very little about golf.
And man, I love that guy.
He's a good bloke. He's a good bloke.
Yeah.
Like, he was willing to just come along because I said we're just going to go across to the other side of Australia and just probably, have a few beers.
Play
stuff.
golf, yeah.
He was like, yeah, I'm keen. So much the same as yourself. So that first night, I'm like, I don't really know what to expect. But not just yourselves, everyone that I ran into was just super, super welcoming. I thoroughly enjoyed the days. I mean, I was awful the next day when it was 40 degrees and I was in pieces. But I thoroughly enjoyed the event. And if the stars align again and I get the invite, then I'm hoping to get along this year as well. So.
And it was stinking hot, wasn't it? I mean, we've said it here and we tried to explain it to people, but it was so brutally
40s,
hot.
it?
Yeah, that second, the first day of actual play of the Jack, but the second day for us being there, that was so hot.
Just everyone's so seedy.
I think particularly living in Perth, we don't really get those kind of humid 40-degree days. It was like being in a sauna playing golf. It was just ridiculous. So and I was already dehydrated. So it was suboptimal, I would say. Yeah.
Did you have a AM tea time that day, or?
Nah. So I thought I was switched on. I'll go the afternoon and stuff like that. And then I realised that all the guys that have been there for a long time got the morning slots, got it out the way, and then went and just crashed for a few hours before doing it all again. And so I'd do it that way around now, 100%. Yeah.
Definitely.
In the state that you were in, Whitey, do you think you would have been able to do that?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think so.
You missed the dinner the next night. You were still that bad.
Yeah.
Do you not think if you'd have just got up, you would have just still been pissed? And so, therefore, you probably
in a better mood. Yeah, it might have been
no one could tell with your golf.
How dare you?
No, it was definitely a challenge. And people were saying the same thing to me, going, "Oh, you get it in the AM, just get it out of the way." And I was at the time, I was like, nah, I couldn't even.
Yeah.
I was nowhere near your level, but yeah, I was still feeling it as well, for sure. So as an event, we've spoken about it. We loved the Jack. It was such a good event and what they're doing there. How did you find the overall event and just obviously what they do throughout the weekend?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really important to remember, what it's about as well. It's a fundraising event. I think diabetes is the main charity, and then obviously the Jack Newton Junior Golf Foundation as well. And Steve, Kiara, the girl that we had in our group, she was awesome. Pete's actually started to sponsor her as a result of
nice.
that.
That's so good, because that was a conversation that was happening while we were there, wasn't it?
Yeah, I witnessed that conversation. That was awesome.
Yeah, so he did great credit to him. He followed up on it. He's
That's
doing
awesome.
that. So he's trying to help her out on getting out on tour. Soon enough, I suppose. He's only 16 or so now, but I think seeing how good those junior golfers are as well, and the fact that event goes to support them, and they talked about some of the names that have been through that tournament in the past, and that you're there supporting something good.
Yeah, and I guess even looking at that as an example, that's sort of what can come of the Jack, right? There's so many opportunities for not just the junior golfers or the businesses that sponsor, but even guys like yourself and us just networking and meeting new people. Like we're having you on now, and obviously the connections that you make. So I guess the overall experience of the Jack, there's so much good that comes out of it, and I guess that first night when you meet so many good people, it's definitely it definitely shines through.
And on the Jack Newton Junior golfers, how good was Vidua Subramaniam, who won? He's gone to college now, hasn't he? He's over in the US. Is he there now?
Yeah, I think.
Oh wow.
He's crazy what he...
Yeah.
And they were playing back-to-back rounds, They were going around
32
twice.
holes,
It's ridiculous.
On the 40-degree day.
Yeah.
That's not fucking about. That's
Now, one thing I want to talk about with the Jack, you were a tyre on the second day. You want to sort of explain it to
second
our
day.
listeners? Yeah.
Oh, so okay, the second day of the tournament. I was Trump. Yeah. I ummed and ahed about it, and I thought, what? I might upset some people, but the sort of people that I'm going to upset, I probably don't care if I upset them.
Yeah.
So, I can't. I went full in. I was Donald. I think the only thing that I was upset about was that we didn't have walk-on music, because it would have been the YMCA.
The dance.
I went all in. And the first day, I can't even remember what I was going to do. But then when I saw the weather forecast, it was I'm just throwing on
Whatever you got.
Hawaii kind of clothes.
Whatever,
just something that. Because I can't remember what I was going to do. I think I was going to do Alan from The Hangover.
Nice.
I had a baby carrier and stuff, because I went to a fancy dress party a few years ago for New Year's or something like that, and I still got the T-shirt. And I was like, I'll just recycle that, and then I was like, there's no way I'm wearing that and a baby carrier, and no chance.
It was just funny that the next day, obviously, we're on the same team. We'd hung out all night getting on the piss, and then you'd had a beard, and then the next day you had the mo, and I didn't recognise you, and I was like, who's Chris and Whitey talking to? Oh shit, it's Dave. Okay, yeah. And then the next day, clean shaven, and you've gone Trump.
Yeah. That was
The dedication
to the character
through the roof.
I had lots of people messaging to me saying that my Instagram account had been hacked. My appearance changed so much over the course of it. But no, look, I thought that was part of getting into the spirit of it as well. I think that everyone made you feel so welcoming. So why not lean into the event and really enjoy it from that point of view as well.
Yeah.
Have you given any thought to what the costume could be this year if you get the call up again?
Well, I don't know. There were some good ones. Some really good ones. Do you know what? You've caught me off with it. I haven't really thought about it. Donald might make another appearance.
Return of strikes back.
Yeah, if he hasn't invaded several countries by then, and I'm really good.
If it's too sensitive of a subject.
Yeah.
I've given this some thought, and if Dale is listening,
Yeah.
I've got a couple of things planned.
Oh, really?
We didn't really do the costumes this year.
Yeah, we got
No,
the memo a
last
bit
year.
late.
Yeah, yeah.
But this year, if it happens,
Yeah, if we get the call up, yeah.
Hard to commit when it's 40 plus degrees.
no, my costumes are 40-degree friendly.
Okay.
I don't know if that's audience friendly, but
You're going to go as a mermaid.
Well, I think like the opportunity for, because presumably all three of you go, you can do some stuff that like you can work that stuff out.
Well,
and
that's
it'll
true.
stand out really well.
Yeah.
I was the whole Alan hangover thing. It was like I want to try and keep my beard if I can.
Yeah.
Trying to do costumes that keep your beard is like it gets more difficult. So
Beard friendly.
oh, there's 4 of us. That could be the hangover crew.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go. Let's go back and let's start with YouTube. So, well, even before that, I guess, with golf. So, how did you get into golf, and then how did that lean into YouTube? I know that's probably going back, but what's gotten you into golf? Where did you start, and how did you get into YouTube?
well, I first played golf in black and white when I was about 11 years old.
I didn't know anyone was going back, but yeah. Okay.
No, my dad got me into golf. He's played golf his whole life. He even caddied when a local golf club when he was 15 years old. So he's always been awful, but he's always loved golf.
Loved it.
So, and yeah, so I guess I played for a few years, and then I got into cricket and football and golf. I never really played again until I was about 23, 24, and then I only played for a few years. And then I moved to Perth, and then I didn't play for 5 years again. And so I've had like this stop-start relationship with it. But since then, about 10 years ago, that's, like where I've been playing pretty solidly. I've been a member of a club for 10 years, and roughly about 6 years ago, I think, maybe it's 5, 6 years ago, I decided one day just to go and take a camera out with me, and initially it was just I'd just film the swings and just see what they look like, and I was horrified by it. But I'd watched people like friends of the show like Rick, and watched all these guys and thought, it can't be that hard, and I've always done jobs where I was in sales and quite comfortable talking in front of people and stuff like that.
Yep.
Not that hard. So I thought of the idea. Driving to the golf course, actually, even of the name, kind of like the Fore to Fore. So the idea at the time, I think I was like I was probably an 18 handicapper at the time.
Yep.
And so, it was going from shouting Fore to having a 4 handicap.
Yeah.
And I haven't got anywhere close. I got to about 7 at one point, over those years. But
I haven't got close to that, if it makes you feel better.
well, I mean, it's not. I'm still above 10 now as well.
Yeah.
But it got more challenging. But I think like what it has done for me is so much more than the aspiration of that goal. It's all those people that I've met along the way. Not least yourselves, and going to that event as a celebrity, which I had massive imposter syndrome about when I first went over. But then I suddenly thought about it, like, without being too big-headed. It's like, do you know what? Some people are probably going to recognise me because there's content out there, and they're in a space that they're consuming that. No one in my group did. Which probably wasn't much of a consolation for them. But we didn't have a pro either, so it didn't matter. But the YouTube space, it kind of like, it's a grind. Like for the first few years, like it just went nowhere. I think I've been monetized for probably approaching 3 years now, certainly 2.
Yeah, right.
And I'm still in the in the realms of. Well, so it wasn't that long ago that I was still only earning $100 a month out of it. So it's not a job, it's still very much a hobby. But that's now creeping up because of, again, working with people like with Ron. I know Ron was on the podcast the other week, and Joel. And, we're kind of, we're working closely together, and we're kind of like got that rising tide lifts all boats scenario happening for us. I really enjoy working with them, and it's obviously it's good for me and the exposure and stuff like that. But equally, I'm learning stuff all the time from them, and I'd like to think that they're learning some tricks and tips from myself as well. So, all from just one day deciding you know, that I was going to film a swing on a golf course, and
Yeah.
like it's just all the other doors that it opened.
So going back to that first point then, so you said on your way you've taken a camera and you decided to do it and have a go. We talked about it in our last podcast. We just sort of had we dipped our toes in the water of filming our horrendous golf. And one thing we talked about was how difficult it actually is and how much respect I have for a lot of YouTubers who go out and play golf and they film everything, because there's so much to think about, not just tackling one of the hardest sports I think ever created, but also to things like getting the right camera angle, making sure your microphone's on, making sure everything's charged the night before, all these things. So what was that first experience like for you, and how much did you learn from that to where you are now?
Well, I listened to that podcast, and I smiled in the car while I was in it, because I was like, yeah, it's pain. It really is. And I think you gave the example, people like Rick, and it's a different type of pressure for Rick, because it's not that he needs to worry about where the camera is or is his mic on, because he's got 8 guys there doing that. His is that 500,000 people are going to watch this. And I've certainly had that kind of, the first few times going on Ron's channel, and all of a sudden, like, being over a chip shot and thinking 25,000 people are going to watch me hit this chip shot, and then duff, and you're like, oh, right. But I think what we always talk about, the camera adds, 3 or 4 shots, like probably to 9 holes, to be honest. So whoever you are, like, I've had good golfers on my channel, 4 or 5 handicappers, come on, and me beat them off the stick, just because they're not used to a camera being there and everything. But I think I'd like to think that has helped me in my actual golf as well. I handle pressure a little bit better as well. But yeah, it's still one of those. Me and Joel always say, kind of like, you want to do one or the other now, right? It's not like I could go out there now and film on my own and try and play. I just don't think I could do it anymore, because what would happen is the production quality would just fall straight away, because you're going to be having a static camera, and we've kind of moved on from doing those sorts of things. So that's where it kind of ruins it. But I tell you what, I remember watching something when I was first starting out. They were talking about your first 10 videos will be absolute garbage, and mine no exception. The first one that I've got, the only reason I haven't deleted it off of YouTube is just pure comedy value, man. Like, it's awful. Even down to what I'm wearing. I'm like, what are you doing? But I've left it on there for that reason, right? Because it reminds me of how far I've come as well. And look, I still don't do things as good as others do, like, and I'm well aware of that. But you're always trying to, like, so just go out there and try, and just fail in its first 10 videos. It doesn't matter how they come out, because you will never make the next 10 videos in the same way, right? It will take 20, 30 videos before you find your style, what works for you, and then it all just starts to become a lot easier when you're actually out there, because you kind of, right? You know, like, there's one thing, I do it when I'm playing in competition golf now, right? If I hit a tee shot, I walk to the left, I walk backwards. I stay out of the tracer line.
Just in case.
There's no camera there, but I go that way.
Taking a video behind you.
So it's,
when you're playing a comp on a Saturday, you go, this guy's got this routine down really well.
It's normally because I'm falling over unbalanced as well. Just like it. We definitely were looking at each other after it, because Whitey was actually playing pretty well and keeping us in this this format that we had, and Chris and I were having probably, we should have just sold the clubs right then and there on the third hole, I reckon. But it was definitely a reality check for me. I was like, wow, this is actually really difficult and tricky. So it was something I was like, okay, this is going to take some time.
It's funny that you mentioned, like, you've had people come on and the cameras are there and it affects them. I didn't personally, when we were filming it, I didn't really feel like I noticed the camera, but I wonder if it is just a subconscious thing. Like,
probably
it's there and it's on you, and you're maybe not consciously thinking about it. But
I hate to say it, but yours and my shots definitely, that's what I look like. We struggled hard. We struggle.
Now, if it does see the light of day, it'll be funny.
Yeah.
Honestly, boys, just put it out. It doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. If it gets 10 views, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Get it out there. See whether you like it first and foremost.
Yeah.
Right?
To be honest, Dave, I hope it gets 8, and I'll be happy. If it gets 8 views, I'll be stoked.
Yeah, if we get double figures, we're
I'll watch it 5 times, all right?
No,
There you go.
appreciate that.
So that's the thing. Yeah, you're helping us out. There you go.
But I think you're right, though. Like, it's with anything. Like, you go back and you listen to episode 1 of this podcast, and it's not great.
I thought it was bull. Another thing that you said there, which is one thing I've noticed a lot with, I guess, the US or the guys in the UK that do the YouTube golf, like when you've examples like Good and Bob Does Sports and Brian Bros, Rick Shields, Grant Horvat, they all kind of go on each other's platforms, and like you said, everyone helps each other. We personally have obviously been following, you guys, obviously since, meeting yourself at the Jack, but, obviously known of Ron as well. But you're the three of you, Joel, Ron, and yourself, really picking each other up, and I love the fact that you guys are on each other's platforms. How did you meet? How did that sort of relationship come about with those guys?
Yeah, okay. So I first met Ron when he wasn't... Well, he was just Ron.
Ron?
He just started being Ron. He was probably about 6 months or so into doing it. So, he talked on the podcast. He started doing messages in and around COVID about, how. So I went down to play the Open at the course he worked at, and he recognised me. In fact, he was one of the first people to ever recognise me when I went to a golf club, and started.
Love that.
Yeah. And he did ask, if I could help him out with some stuff, because he wanted to do it, and I did a few videos here and there with him and stuff like that. In and amongst all of that, I think he'd met Joel at like a PGA awards dinner or something like that, and then one day Ron said about going down to Cottesloe to film a skit. I think it was the Ron Plays the Scramble.
Yep.
I think it was that one, and it's still one of my favourite Ron videos. It's absolutely brilliant. Back when he was funny, and and Joel was there, and then so Joel was there because he was helping to film and he was in it as well, and Joel was kind of obviously led a lot more, like pretty much all of the the content production since then. But then I actually realised through talking to him, because he runs a social media for Kwinana Golf Club as well.
Yep.
When I was reaching out to clubs, saying I'd like to come down and film and stuff like that, he was one of the people that actually replied to one of my messages. So I actually talked to him probably about a year before that, something like that.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, look, and we all live in different areas. Like you guys maybe not that familiar with Perth, but Matt kind of lives fairly like northern suburbs, like Joel's like southern suburbs, and I live like 90 minutes north of Perth these days, right? So we're all kind of spread out. Like a lot of the time, we only see each other when we go on these trips. But equally, we'll talk to each other every day. So in fact, me and Joel are going out to do a filming day on Thursday. We're going to play a couple of courses to try and get a bulk load of videos out, because as I said earlier, we now need someone to do the filming, or at least help with the workload of the filming, because the production level needs to stay high. But I say I learn things every day from them, and I'd hope that they're learning stuff from me as well, even if it's just input, and it's great to be a part of.
And then I guess the follow on from that as well, because you said like you're shooting with Joel. How do you decide what you do on each of your channels? I guess, is it something that you go, I've kind of done that, can I do it this month? Like, how does that sort of work? I guess when
it's a good point. Like, so we've all got. I mean, we all copy and borrow from each other. And look, none of us have ever done anything original. Like Rick steals ideas all the time from channels, right? But it's about you. And I always have a mantra with it that if you're not going to be good, just be entertaining. Because people will still watch it. But yeah, so I mean, I love doing the break 40 type videos. Like they're my favourite.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
Because I don't want to film 18 holes. I don't want to do like the breaking par like Ron does 18 holes. It takes so long to try and do that. But yeah, the break 40s are good. You know, like they come out in the right sort of time. You know, depending how I edit it, it's like 20 to 30 minutes, and they always hit really, really well. And the other ones that I've started doing are the Target 27s, which is like a short game kind of, you know, gamification. You know, like to you know, try and improve your short game, and they've been really, really well received. So I always like to try and do those two types of videos. And then if there's time, maybe we do a scramble, you know, or something like that. So how we'll do it on Thursday is basically I won't play for the first 9. I'll just film him, and then he'll film me for my 9. You know, and that's fine, because we're not got a scorecard in our hands. You know, I mean, we're filling out a scorecard to go on the video and whatever. But I think it's always, I always get good feedback from videos when it's me and Joel. Like people always talk about, you know, that we gel very well together, and
of course,
and so for that reason, I love making content with him, and you know, we're of a similar size, and obviously I love making content with Ron as well, but it's a different audience, and you know, that can only ever be here and then, you know.
Yeah, the three of you work really well together, but I think the dynamic between you and Joel is
hilarious.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
I love the banter and
we find it quite tough
in the cart recently. That was a good one.
I saw that one.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was brewing for a little while as well. Like I could feel that one coming
up.
Just pushing it. I loved it.
Oh, you're doing really well, mate.
You've been really calm.
But yeah, he's. We don't play many head-to-head games.
Yep.
And the major reason is neither of us really like going at each other. Like, we wanted to do, and how much you know about his and mine individual channels going back, but so Tom has been in quite a few of my videos, and Tom's filmed it a bit for me, and he's got Peps on his side that again has filmed a bit for him and been in a few videos, and we were trying to sort out a me and Tom versus Peps and Joel for ages and ages, like months. And just after the Jack, actually, we'd agreed a date that we could finally all do, and then it didn't happen. And like, I'm not even upset that it didn't happen, because it would have been horrible. It would have been horrible going against. Like, I wanted to win clearly, but it was just we tend to do better on the same team.
Yeah, nice. One thing I wanted to talk to you about was the trip to New Zealand. Wowee, that looked
amazing,
insane,
absolutely beautiful.
I said it off the back of those videos.
Yeah,
I'm ready to book a trip with the missus right now and go.
Yeah,
and to play the courses that you guys played. First of all, how was the trip? How was the experience? And then, probably want to ask you a little bit about not playing golf, and does that suck when you have to watch someone else play golf and you don't get that opportunity? But I mean, you got to play the courses and go back to a few of them, I see. But how was the whole experience?
I mean, firstly, Queenstown is just beautiful.
Yeah,
absolutely
clean,
beautiful.
so clean.
Like, just pure. Like I think Joel said in the first morning there, it's like someone just dropped me in Switzerland. You know what I mean? It was crazy how beautiful it was, and I immediately said, my wife would love it here, so I will go back with my wife at some point and try and get revenge on some of those golf courses. I didn't play particularly well. That's no great secret, but I got to have all the excuses under the sun. I didn't take my clubs, so I had to use theirs. You know, back, blah blah blah. But no, in reality, it didn't really matter, because they were just so incredibly beautiful. Like for an area, I can't think of a better area in the world. And I like to think, I've been, Dubai, where they've got a high concentration of high-class golf courses.
Yep.
But what you can't replicate is what's all around. All the mountains and the views that you get.
Incredible.
Just absolutely stunningly beautiful. Apart from the weather, I could live in Queenstown because it was cold. Like there's no two
Yeah.
ways. Right, but yeah. And the second question about the not playing part.
Yeah, because I get really jealous when I can't play and I have to watch or something, and just even when I'm finished the round and I'm watching people still playing, I want to go again and think I can do better. So it's like, how does it feel when you're having to go to these courses and just film? Or
I think So the way I look at that is that I am there to work.
Yeah.
It's a very, very low paying job. It's almost volunteering, but
Still work.
But it is still work at the end of the day, right? So, and I'm being, funded to go. Like I don't pay for the trip, so in that respect, like that's me giving back. So there is that, and then I guess the Jack's Point breaking pass come out, hasn't it? Ron playing Jack's Point, that has. Yeah. Sorry, because I see these, and then I'm always like, I don't know if they've actually gone out to the white. But that day, there is zero chance. There's not enough money you could have paid me to play that golf course that day. That was absolutely brutal. It didn't come across in the video at all because the microphone is so good.
Yeah.
But it was howling. You're talking 60, 70k gusts.
Ooh,
that was not fun to play.
Is that the course that you and Joel went and played and it was good weather?
Yeah, we went back the next day and me and Joel got it. It was still like it was, it was nothing.
Take that, Ron.
And Joel did well, and that's all I'm going to say. Because my one hasn't come out yet, but no, mine will be a few weeks off. Just because I could have edited it at the same time, but it was like 3 videos of the same course in the same week. Probably, maybe not in my interest to do it. So, but yeah, so like most of the time, it's not a problem. Like you get to see, you get a different perspective, I guess, of the golf course when you're not trying to score on it, when you're filming, you are always thinking about what's now going to look the nicest. So like invariably you're then finding the best views on the golf course as well. So it's I find it quite an enriching experience doing it that way as well.
Yep. And then just quick question, out of the courses that you visited, what was the favourite?
To look at Jack's Point, like no question. Just stunningly beautiful, not entirely playable in my opinion, like very difficult. Millbrook, the Coronet course at Millbrook, when that video of Ron's comes out, that's just out of this world. Like I've never seen anything like it. Just stunningly. That looked pretty impressive. The video, obviously, with Luke Kwan and those guys that looked. And that wasn't even on the Coronet. That was on the Remarkables course.
There's two courses. Yeah, I've got to say, I did look up on the.
started planning
the trip. Yeah, so there's the 2 courses. So so there's that's not even the most impressive one, is it?
No, and look, the Coronet's more expensive, definitely. I think the Coronet was about $350, something like that, whereas Remarkables is like 180, 200 or something. I maybe making numbers up there, but there was a definite difference between that. And the Remarkables course is where a lot of the NZ Open is. So if you want that experience, like the back 9 that the skins match was, that's all of those holes are in the NZ Open, I'm pretty sure.
Is that what the stands were before, like around the green? Around
the final green where Peaky hold the winning part and all that crazy up and down. So.
Yeah, beautiful.
That's awesome.
Well, save your pennies, boys, to go shoot a 150. There you go.
Actually, Millbrook, way more playable. More playable.
As long as there's no trees, open fairways, we're good to go.
Fat fairways. That's all we need. That's all we need.
You mentioned him there, Dave. Peaky, how good was that?
Incredible. Really good to see him get up. Ron and Joel know him a lot better than I do, but I've met him a couple of times, and he's a thoroughly nice kid, and it's great to see now. He's got his DP World Tour card. To get out there, that opportunity to get out and play on that stage, and he hits the ball a mile. Like I remember being at Blitz and hearing him tee off like a hole away. It just phenomenal how far he hits the ball. So yeah, really great for a kid that's been through a lot, and has still been able to come out the other side of that and thrive. I think that's fantastic. It's such a good story, and yeah, I just hope he has a great year next year on DP World.
Yep. Back to your YouTube channel. Subscriber count, what are you at now?
About just over 4,000, something like that.
Did you mentioned that you've been doing it for about 6 years, and 3 years now you kind of monetized. Was there like a peak moment where it happened, or is it just been a slow grind, or was there one video that was kind of like, oh, that's the one that's broke out now?
Basically, yeah. So like Ron always gives me shit. Can I swear? Are we allowed to swear? Can we swear?
Yeah.
Go for broke.
It's just whenever I swear, normally Joel then jumps on me and says I can't swear on this channel. So, yeah, Ron always gives me shit about the fact that I need to do more product reviews and stuff like that because they always just go so well. And that was basically what did it. I did a review of an app called Hole 19, which is basically birdies, like kind of the green kind of thing, And that video, I think, has about 200,000 views now on YouTube, something like that. It's awful. It's such a bad video, but it got me there. It took off, and then I did another one of another app, Hello Birdie, which again exactly the same sort of thing. Like that went really, really well. So I don't particularly enjoy doing the product review sorts of videos, but that said, they have their place. They do generate traffic. I don't think they necessarily, and the reason that I don't like them as much is I don't think they necessarily generate a following. They just views. Does that make sense? Like I'll get drive-bys of views, but then if I do a course vlog tomorrow, they're not watching that. Then they're not invested in me. They're there for whatever the product is.
Yep.
So.
How about the addition of the fine thing behind you, the simulator?
Yeah, absolutely. This has been cool. I don't know, because I don't know how wide the camera goes completely for where this is on. Because you put this on YouTube as well, right?
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, this has been great. So yeah, since I moved up here about a year ago, and one of the things that when we were moving to the country, I kind of said that I want the space to put a sim in. It took me about 6-9 months to kind of get it up to scratch, but I've spent about $5,000, and yeah, I think I've built a pretty cool space. So most of the golf clothes are over there because I don't actually have enough room in the.
I was going to say the 6 to 9 months, was that just to convince the missus, or that just to
no? This was all pre. It was almost written into the contract. Like this is happening.
Right, so
I think most of it
contract, and that'll get it done. All right, cool, done. Yeah, cool.
Yeah. So yeah, she was allowed chickens and all sorts of other things, and I was allowed a golf set. So she's pushed that a little bit. There's now turkeys and quails and other things, but yeah, so yeah, I've kind of got this fitted out. I'm like, you can't see it, but I've got a bar here as well. So it's kind of like a bit of an entertaining area as well, which is pretty good. And I've got a little sofa around the corner there as well. So it's been good. It's very hot in here in the summer. So anyone if you've ever watched any of the sim videos, I'm normally a big, hot, sweaty mess when I'm doing them. But I'm hoping that, through the winter, that won't be as bad. But yeah, it's been really good. And again, that coming back to the different types of content, that's a whole new type of viewer for me, right? Those that are interested in the simulator stuff, because almost I see it with the view count, they're lower, but from my point of view, some people still enjoy them, right? Yeah. They're very easy for me to make, it takes me, in fact, I did one the other day from pressing record on it. I had it edited and uploading to YouTube within 2.5 hours.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Far out.
So I'm like, that's a real easy win, and I've historically been doing those as Sunday sessions. The whole Aussie phenomena of having a few beers on a Sunday arvo, which I have been doing, but I'm actually for long and boring reasons. I'm not drinking, for a few months, but. I'm going to have to
went too hard on the Jack. Yeah, he went.
You
too
drink
hard.
for me, but that's what I've been saying on the videos. You have a drink for me, So until I can get the Pirate Life sponsorship or something like that, I'll strike.
We'll send you over some.
So, but yeah, they've been really good. In fact, I've got to film it tomorrow morning. Actually, I did one because Awesome Golf has got some of real world courses, and so it had the Majlis, and so when they did the DP World Tour event, I tried to beat the worst score of the week by the pros. So I'm going to do that because Doral's on there. So
wow.
We spoke about that earlier today.
Yeah.
So, and I think, and you guys might correct me if I'm wrong, I think Kevin Na had an 84.
Oh, yeah, actually, I don't know.
I don't know that lowest round. I know who.
Ben Campbell had the lowest overall.
Yeah, over 3 days.
Yeah.
But I don't know who.
Yeah, but he was kind of consistently.
He shot a 10, a plus 10 on the last round. So I think that might have been.
That's 82 though. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure I saw Kevin Na was 84. So I've got 84 to beat.
It's a lot of water.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know. I can play it off of the back tees and everything, so it'll be interesting. Because I think I beat it by one shot when I did the DP World Tour one. So
nice.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can do it. Yeah.
So while we're on that, on Live, obviously we're pretty Live focused on this podcast. It's one of the reasons, I guess, a lot of us that have gotten into golf recently, as a lot of probably younger people have. What is your take on Live Golf? How it compares to the traditional, I guess, PGA style of golf? What do you think of Live and what it brings, and I guess maybe the event in Adelaide as well?
Yeah, can't stand it. No, I'm kidding. I think it's amazing.
Thanks for joining us.
I should have left that there for just a few more seconds. I thought you were going to cut me off.
By the way, we're leaving that in.
No, I think being technically Australian now, even though I don't sound it, it's the one tour, or top tier level event that has come to Australia now. The PGA Tour could have done so much more if they wanted to, but they chose other markets, and I think as a product, I still, if I'm brutally honest, I still struggle a little bit with some of the coverage.
Yep.
I don't really like that Arlo White, I'll be honest. But Chris, I know you love him, right? But yeah, I don't know. Just a bit boring. But
I'm a big Arlo guy.
that's fine. Different strokes, different folks. But yeah, as a product, it's different, and it's absolutely, it's getting the team element brings something else to it. I'd love to see them do something slightly different with the teams. I don't know whether it could be brands or something like that, whether they're trying to move towards that sort of thing. Something for, I know Rick's talked about it a lot, like something to get behind the team, because I don't really have a team, or anything. I probably follow Ripper a bit, because of being here, obviously. But other than that, not really. But no, look, I mean, I love seeing great golfers, and I've been over to Dubai and watch events, and and I've seen the best players in the world play, and when you're up close to them, there's nothing that compares, and that coming to Adelaide is phenomenal, right? Like when you can stand, like I've followed John Rahm around, but it was at the Earth course, right, in Dubai.
Yep. Just
ridiculous. Like you feel like you're going to get sucked in as he's taking the shot. Like it's and to say they're the only group that have brought that majorly to these shores. So from that point of view, I think it's a great idea. Like people get hung up on the the money, where that's coming from. I think if you dug into the PGA Tour, you'd probably find things that you didn't want to know either as well. But from my point of view, I think all they're trying to do is something slightly different. Yeah, and I'm all for that.
Obviously, with the success of Adelaide, the Adelaide event, do you reckon there could be a second event in Australia there'd be room for it, or do you think it's better having just the one at the moment? Or
Yeah, if there is, I would love to see it not in Melbourne or Sydney.
Yeah.
And there was rumours that Greg Norman was over here at some point. Looking at Joondalup Resort, I think, and that's a definite maybe. To quote Oasis album cover, that's the sort of course that could hold it for sure. Do I think that would water it down a bit? Probably not. I think there, no doubt, there's a lot of people that I know have travelled over, from Perth to go to the Adelaide event. If there was one in Perth, would they do both? Maybe not. But I think the way the Aussies get behind it, it's like nowhere else. JCB maybe, but you look at some of the others. Particularly, even though it's in the States, they don't really seem to be, like that well kind of supported. And that's probably one of the biggest criticisms that it gets, that no one's watching it and stuff like that. But you've got to put the events on in the right places. People, are starved, of that kind of competitive and top level golf. So, I'd be all for it. If they put it down the road, that'd be amazing. Melbourne or Sydney, why would you?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would you?
They get everything else right, so that's fine.
Exactly.
One thing, obviously, that Liv has done differently this year, they've gotten the ambassador for Liv Golf, which is Rick Shields. He's obviously probably a bit of inspiration for a lot of people in this space. They've just had the Liv Golf Miami Duels event where they had it on Grant Horvat's channel. Have you had a chance to catch that, and what do you think that does for Liv Golf?
Haven't watched it yet. Ron Chopper is to blame for that because I'm editing next week's video, so I haven't had time to do that. But I'm very excited to watch it. I think again that's straddling the entertainment barrier. Like at the end of the day, Grant and those others, they're entertainers, right? And they might be good at golf too, but they're entertainers. And I think that's only a good thing. So, I'm really looking forward to how that video came out. Because, is it like 6 hours long though? Like that would be my only
hour and 40 minutes, I think. So.
Wow, that's good. Okay, hour and 40. Fantastic. So I'll get behind that.
Don't listen to this episode before you watch that then.
Stop spoiler.
Oh, no, that's all right. I'll probably watch it tonight. So that's good.
What makes you think he's going to listen to this episode?
I'm stuck at tonight.
I see the listeners. I know.
Okay.
I know what's going on.
Right. Well, it is the biggest week in golf coming up. It's Masters Week. Mm-hmm. So,
do you have much planned in your man cave or anything like that for Masters Week?
That will just that'll have KO running pretty much for as long as it can. I'll probably sleep in here to be
get the swag on.
Well, I got the sofa, so that's fine. I'll sleep in here. There's a few mice to keep me company in there.
Snuggle up to.
Yeah, exactly. But 100%. Yeah, I'll be all over it. Being English, the Open always has a soft spot for me. But no doubt in the Masters is the one that you get up for. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think like the Masters is sort of like I guess maybe because it's like the first one, it's a bit of excitement. Whereas, when it gets to the Open, that's sort of like the traditional. It's like, a bit more emotional to it. But the Masters is something really exciting to lead us off with majors.
Because I kind of view it almost as the grand final, but it's the first of the majors. Well, so I don't know. Yeah,
we've talked about it before. It's like a lot of people would rather win the green jacket than the claret jug, but then there are a lot that obviously the claret jug is the it's the one.
The OG.
With the Masters, obviously, we get to see the best golfers sort of come back together again for a week. We are going to have our tips as well, but if
let's have a little bit of a round table discussion.
Yeah, what do you think? Who's going to be the big players this week at Augusta?
Look, my heart foolishly, obviously, wants Rory.
Yeah.
Right?
Chris hates Rory.
I know. I listen to the podcast. I know you hate Rory. And don't get me wrong, and I did. I was listening to that podcast, and I was thinking to myself, do you know what? Tiger Woods is a bit of a dick as well. But I just judge him on his golf. You know, like simple as that. So, yeah, shut up, Rory. Hit the golf ball. A bit like Lewis. Just drive the car. I don't need to hear about anything else. Yeah.
That's all I want.
Just hit the golf ball.
He's, I think he's primed. He's ready, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's looking good, but he's looked good before. And
it's been said before, hasn't it? This is Rory's green jacket to lose, and he finds a way.
It'll be one of those where if he's an afternoon tea time on the first day and I fall asleep before it comes on, I'll wake up and I'll see that he's shot 6 over. Like I already know that it's probably going to happen. So anything better than that, and I'm he's in with a chance. But I really hope that he does. But equally, I would love Tommy Fleetwood to do well.
Yeah, big Tommy guy. I like Tommy.
Big Tommy fan, and I genuinely think that Yako,
Neiman.
I think he'll go well. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's kind of trending in that. Well, not after this weekend, but he's been playing well all season.
Didn't have a great Miami, but
no,
really consistently for the last 2 years, he's been one of the best on live. So
So Whitey, let's get your tip.
My tip was the same. I had Rory McIlroy. Actually, Ron Chopper put up a comp to win a driver or something like that, and you had to put in your tips for the Masters, and I had Rory to win, and in second place, Sergio Garcia.
Okay.
They were my tips.
In his 100th major? No?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like Rory needs to win the Masters. And
It's the Grand Slam then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's the Grand Slam. So, I feel like this is just going to be his year. He's primed for it. And in terms of live players, I feel like Neiman is going to do really well, and I think, Sergio is going to be up there as well. He just seems to be in form and just striking the ball so well. So, yeah.
Big Dog, give us your tips.
I'm kind of almost going a little bit with Whitey.
Yeah.
I'm actually tipping Sergio to win.
Sergio Garcia.
And I think, like you, Dave, I think Wako will be around the mark, but my smoky is Minwoo Lee.
Okay.
to take it out.
Yeah.
Love that.
Smoky.
Let him cook.
I'm
going to go with Colin Morikawa. I think
that's a smart tip.
I think, and then I think probably Rory will be up there.
Yeah.
If I was going to pick a live golfer, I don't know if the live golfer is going to go too well. Just my gut feeling. I think
not even Bryson or anything like that.
Rory. I think Scotty will be up there, and I think Colin gets it done. But I think if I was going to pick one, I'd go Bryson, just purely for the fact that he didn't play had a bad last round in Miami, but he played pretty well. I think he wants the Masters. So
would it shock anyone to see Phil make another top 5 finish here?
What do you reckon, Dave? You reckon Phil could get up and show some class to get a 4th green jacket?
Phil Mickelson. I mean, he could. It's in
the realm of possibility.
Hey, Tiger got it done when he came back. Nothing better.
I've watched that. When we were in New Zealand, we watched that. We watched the Masters movie, when Tiger won. I was crying, man. I was
just weeping
in a room full of men. I was crying. I possibly Phil. Don't know. Weather dependent, I would say. If it's warm, I think that might struggle. I was amazed there. No one, almost no one. Steve, you did say Scotty. I thought someone's got to mention Scotty Scheffler at some point. Yeah. And I don't think anyone said Brooks. And personally, I think that Brooks is one of those guys where it doesn't matter how he's playing, because if he gets in with a sniff, he's such a tough competitor. I love the guy. I really do. I think he's phenomenal. I've been lucky enough to actually meet him, in person as well, I think he could be there or thereabouts as well. Because as I say, it's irrelevant what his form is.
Yeah. And to your point, Brooks has publicly said that he needs to kind of have, big stakes on the line to get up to play golf. So there's no bigger, thing than the Masters. So
and he was playing well, last Masters before, then he went on to
Yeah.
get the PGA. Well, not last year, the year before.
Year
wasn't
before,
it?
he finished second, or he was running second for a while.
Yeah, so he had a decent.
He's definitely a
Masters.
majors player.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, the big events is where he steps up. So yeah, any of these guys could definitely get it done. So
Yeah,
looking forward to it.
it's what's the best part about Masters Week? Do you reckon is it watching? They've got awesome coverage now. I think they got an app where you can track all the guys on the driving range.
The Masters app is the best app in the world.
Ooh. What's the best part of the Masters Week for you, Dave?
Chris has just reminded me to download the Masters app because I delete that every year.
Same.
Re-download that. You can't beat the Hello Friends, Jim Nantz at the start. Of the day. It's something that just hits you in the feels straight away. Everyone says it though, that doesn't come alive until that final 9 on Sunday, but it is it's always good, that final 9. I'm just really hoping, if I could picture a dream final 9, it's like Brooks, Rory, Tommy, who else? Cam Smith, all in contention. I mean, I can't lose,
Yeah, big dogs.
Yeah, you want the big names up there,
Definitely,
for sure.
definitely.
I'll be honest, I know he's a live golf. I don't want Patrick Reed up there. No.
He copped so much shit. Old P. Reed.
Yeah, for me, it's all about the food. Pimento cheese
pimento
sandwiches.
cheese.
Yeah, that's any excuse to get some food into me,
I have my Masters tradition every year, and I was talking to Lara last night about. I said, because I really buy in.
Yeah.
Of course you do. Yeah.
So I make the pimento cheese sandwiches, I make the egg salad sandwiches, and I do a peach themed dessert for the weekend. So I said to Lara,
Who is this guy?
Also, where's my invite?
I was going to say, mad invite.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, I'll come over there and watch it on that sim, and I'll provide the catering for the weekend.
Just be in the kitchen and cook away.
Now, one of the best parts about Masters Week is we get the drop of all the deliciously good-looking staff bags.
Yeah.
I'm a gear fiend because I can't play the game, so I might as well buy everything that I can.
Dave has met us, he knows this.
Yeah, he knows.
Still got sore legs.
Yeah, there's a couple of doozies. The Srixon bag that came out, the TaylorMade Callaway,
Cobra came
and
out
the
of
Cobra one.
Yeah.
Have you seen them? Have you seen them? Have you caught them?
The
I
TaylorMade
haven't
one.
seen 2 of them.
How good's the TaylorMade bag? It's similar to last year's, but this year it's just a bit more crisp.
Yeah.
Callaway.
Callaway.
Yeah.
That bag's beautiful.
I saw the Callaway one. That looked real
Sorry,
nice.
I'm a Srixon guy. I'm going the Srixon again. That looks real nice. Yeah, for sure. That's the best part about Masters Week right there. You get all the gear.
The gear.
And just
100%.
entering every competition possible, just hoping for a free bag.
Yeah.
Your inbox just goes off because you're getting tagged in everything.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
100%. Alrighty, so before we round it out and wrap it up.
I just want to jump in quickly, sorry.
Oh, okay.
We talked about this a little bit before we started recording tonight.
Yeah.
Masters moment. Favourite Masters moment in history or memorable? Because it might not be a good one. I'm thinking of, the Shark. If you watched that documentary on him, have you seen that doco on the ESPN doco about him losing the Masters?
Yeah.
Heartbreaking, but memorable. Most memorable Masters moment
I think
for everyone.
For me, easily, it's just Tiger coming back and winning again. That's like Luke Elvey said, a return to glory.
Yeah.
Just that's in my head.
Yeah, you can't go past that, really.
2019 Tiger.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Dave?
97 Tigers, pretty good.
Yeah.
The chip in with the best Nike ad ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I could have a second one, it would be Hideki's caddy.
That's
beautiful moment. Yeah.
Very cool.
I'm going 2013 Adam Scott.
Oh yeah,
like
one.
Growing up watching it early morning, and then seeing an Aussie win it, the fist pump and the come on Aussie when he won, it was unreal. Yeah,
very cool. All right, well let's all strap in and see if our tips come true.
Chuck some money down.
All right, there's bragging rights on order.
That's it.
Dave, before we round it out, we always ask our guests the same 4 questions. that come on the final four.
I'm very keen to hear these answers.
Yes, one question in particular.
Yeah, I'm very excited because we did listen to a cover band all night and get completely wankered on the piss. So, the first one though is pretty standard in the golf world. Your fantasy foursome, so yourself and 3 other golfers, anytime, any place. Who are you playing with? It could be anyone.
Do you know what? Chris sent me these questions for. I listen every week.
Yeah.
And so I know the questions.
Thank
and Chris
you,
sent them through to me.
Appreciate the support, though.
And I still didn't give it any thought. So you said you're interested in the answers. I'm interested in the answers.
Yeah.
I genuinely don't know what's going to come out of my mouth right now. So I think I wanna avoid the cliche with the group. So I think I'm going to go just with. I'd want to have fun out there.
Yep.
So I want some sort of comedian, and I want Bob Mortimer. Do you know Bob Mortimer?
Oh, yeah.
No.
I don't know Bob Mortimer.
What? Yeah. Would I lie to you, Bob Mortimer? Yeah.
Yeah. He's an absolute genius. I think he would have me in stitches the whole way.
Yeah, right.
Hilarious.
Nice. Be someone to look up there.
Yeah.
Music-wise, I am a Doors tragic, so Jim Morrison.
Nice.
Yeah, I have Jim in there. And I probably should have a golfer in there of some description. But do you know what? No, he'd make me laugh as well. Bill Murray. I'll go Bill Murray.
Yeah.
That's a fun group.
Yeah.
Nice one.
Good group.
Very good. Very good. Nice answer.
Whitby in bits as well.
Next one is the favourite course, I believe. Is it the favourite course?
Of course.
I'm doing this without a paper run sheet this time. It's off the dome. Favourite course. So, obviously, we know plenty of the live courses. You've probably played a bunch of courses, especially filmed on some. But your favourite course, maybe that you've played.
Or would like to play.
Do I have to have played it?
Nah, it could be one that
could be
you
anything.
want to play.
Yeah. Okay, so want to play Lahinch in Ireland.
Yep.
Is beautiful. I heard you guys talking about it the other week. And,
Yep.
And I was like, want to play. Have played for a long time. It was Yas Links in Dubai, actually Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
Phenomenal golf course. I did film there a couple of times actually. Yeah, great golf course. But I'll be honest, Jack's point after being there, I'd say it kicked my butt, but just such an amazing golf course.
Yeah, nice. I look forward to going there. All right. Now, this is where we get to the good ones.
Yeah.
This one's my favourite question. We're famously... Names are... Yeah, we are famous. Mate,
Wow,
we're almost hitting 100 episodes now.
Yeah, true.
Our name was on the celebrity leaderboard as well.
Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Jesus Christ.
John Rahm said at the presser, all right, just relax. Okay?
All right, my bad.
We're famously named after
Okay.
the watering hole at the Grange Golf Club in Adelaide, the 12th hole. Every player comes out to a walkout song, and as they're hitting their tee shot to get the ace, what's Dave's watering hole song?
Before he answers, Dave has amazing taste in music,
Yeah, he
so
does.
this is the one that I've
true.
really been looking forward to hearing.
All right. The cheeky girls. I would. I mean, I mentioned like with I really wanted to do the YMCA when I was but that wouldn't be it. That was literally just a situational thing. Do you know what? Just because it's been partially adopted by the England football team as well for some reason, I don't know why, but Sweet Caroline.
Oh,
Yeah, nice.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Just get all those touching hands and all that going. Yeah.
Such an
I could just imagine you doing that on there.
I've done it at karaoke. When before Pete left, we went karaoke, and I did Sweet Caroline karaoke. I had the whole pub going. It was
It's a song that everyone gets around.
I'm having...
that one and Chelsea Dagger by the Fratellis did that one, and that got that. So that it could have been that one as well. But I'd go Sweet Caroline.
When you said England football team, for a second I thought you were going to say Vindaloo. I was hoping.
No, there's a good one as well. Yeah. Absolutely. I actually always preferred Vindaloo over It's Coming Home.
Yeah.
I always thought it was a better song.
Yeah.
Yeah, nice. And then the last one, obviously we've got Oh, as Chris has got the towers behind him, Cleeks, Majestics, Range Goats, Fireballs, Ripper, got all these team names, whether you think they're corny or not. What would Dave's team name be if he was on the Live Tour? If you were the captain and you had to get your team together?
And you've signed Ron, you've signed Joel.
You've signed Whitey because he's the best golfer out of
Ron,
that guy.
I want to win. I saw this earlier and I'm like, I have literally no idea. I have this weird obsession with the word legend. I have an email address that's got legend in it, which is incredibly like childish and embarrassing when someone asks my email address.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just had this thing where I just think, you imagine like someone being interviewed on the TV and it just had their name and underneath like what they do or whatever. It just said legend. Like, that's kind of like, for me, that's peak. Like you've made it, right? So they're going to be the legends. The legends. Yeah. That's what they're going to be.
Legend GC.
Yeah. I love it.
David Gapes, legend.
Yeah.
That's actually the email address.
Yeah.
At hotmail.com. Mate, thank you so much for coming on. It's been a pleasure to meet you in the first place and obviously to catch up again. We hope to catch you in the future. Obviously, we hope we all get the invite back to the Jack because that was a killer event. Mate, we'll be watching all your videos and all your content that comes out.
And make sure everyone follows Fore to Golf on Instagram and YouTube.
Yep. Absolutely. Like I said, we'll be watching, and mate, we wish you all the best. And thanks for coming on. I appreciate it.
No, thank you guys. I'm honoured to get on, really, really happy about what you guys are doing as well. I think you've come on leaps and bounds, and getting some big guests on, and honestly, I thought, well, that's it, I've missed my chance. I won't get on now. They've just get big dogs on there now.
No.
So, yeah.
No one's bigger.
Honoured.
That's all right. We still got Chris on. He's all right, though. All right, mate. Well, we won't take up too much of your time. Thanks again.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you,
mate.
Mate.